Hi, this is Kim McCarthy reporting not so live from the Greene County Board of County Commission meeting for Thursday, May 18th, 2017. So the meeting yesterday was pretty much your standard run-of-the-mill commission meeting with particularly a lot of items on the agenda. Lots of admin requests, resolutions, ratifying, signings, lots of construction going on in Greene County, easements, sewer lines, you name it. It's very exciting stuff. But today I'm going to concentrate on something that I actually saw in the minutes of the meeting from last week. Now, when I started going to these meetings 6 months ago, I did not have access to the packages that they go through in the meeting. I could get this when I walked in, the one-page agenda, but there was no supporting documentation behind that agenda. So when you're sitting there in the audience listening to the commissioners talking about these different items, it's quite hard to understand or keep up with what's happening when you don't have anything in front of you, apart from a one-line title about the item. So I actually asked initially when I first started going if I could get copies of that information, and I was told no. Big sigh. But then my partner in crime, Dorothy, she came on board a month or so ago, joining me at the meetings, and she actually asked again, and this time they said yes. So we are getting a copy of all the supporting documentation the day before, and that includes a copy of the minutes of the meeting from last week. Well, I was at the meeting last week, but apparently they had a work session afterwards, which I'm not always able to stay for, unfortunately. But they had this work meeting, and the last line of the work meeting minutes read as this. Mr. Huddleston, who is Brandon, the administrator, he urged commissioners to contact Senator Hackett to reinforce where the board stands on the Medicaid MCO issue. So in the public comment section at the end of the meeting, I got up and I told them that I read this sentence. I read the sentence out to them, and I asked, what is the Medicaid MCO issue and what is your stance? Anderson was not there today, yesterday, so it was just Kugler and Glazer, and they both looked at each other and they just went, ugh. They were not happy that I saw that, or at least maybe they were not happy that they had to explain the situation. I don't know, but they moaned and groaned after I asked that question for a moment or two. Spare the drama, gentlemen, please. So anyway, after they recovered from the question, Glazer went on to explain it to me. So basically, we have things called Medicaid MCOs, managed care organizations. It's my understanding that an example of that would be CareSource, huge company here in Ohio. They basically manage Medicaid for the state and administer it to the people. So there's also non-Medicaid MCOs, and they're the MCOs that just manage our regular health insurance, putting themselves in the middle so they can get a little cut of it, obviously. But there were different rules for taxing those entities. So it used to be that only the non-Medicaid MCOs paid sales tax. The Medicaid MCOs, well, actually, they did pay sales tax on the income that they received from the state to distribute, the Medicaid dollars. They paid sales tax on that. But the federal government had a plan in place that basically reimbursed them for those taxes. So they were not paying taxes. Lovely, hey? The feds changed the rule recently. So they are no longer reimbursing. Now you can imagine how CareSource felt about that. So obviously they got their lobbyists dressed and ready to go to the offices, and they hit someone because they have convinced the state of Ohio to basically pick up that reimbursement. They're changing the way the tax is levied. They want to do a kind of a broad-based tax over both Medicaid and non-Medicaid MCOs. But the Medicaid MCOs are paying a much higher rate, like $50 per person, whereas the non-Medicaid MCOs are paying like $1. And they claim that this income will replace the income that they're losing through the federal drop-off. But the only problem with that is that the way they've written the law is that that money no longer flows down to the county. So, the county gets its cut of any sales tax normally, but this apparently is different. So the county is getting nothing, and they're actually losing $1.2 million a year out of this deal. Another thing I should mention, they're levying this tax on CareSource, but then the state is actually reimbursing them for that money. The state is giving CareSource and others a $700 million tax break. And guess who pays for that? That's us, yes. Kasich is looking at an $800 million shortfall on his budget. Let me think about that for a minute. Maybe if you took that $700 million that you're giving, I should say, to CareSource, I think that would make your $800 million look a hell of a lot better at $100 million. What do you think, Kasich? Anyway, this is an example of a county meeting that has wide implications, on the state level. So, yeah, I did not know this was going on. Again, corporate welfare at its finest. How we deal with this, I don't know. We could probably call Senator Hackett ourselves and maybe ask that they tax all corporations, people that are using our money to make money. I think someone like CareSource should actually probably pay a higher rate of tax. I mean, they're given a license to print money by managing Medicaid, right? I've been a business owner for many years, and it was never this easy for me. I can tell you right now. I guess I just didn't give money to the people who wanted it. Oh well, maybe I should have hired a lobbyist. Maybe that's what I was missing. Anyway, that's my wrap up for today. I will see you again next week. Thanks for listening.